Aye, Captain. Aye, on the shoreline. 2026. She be coming real fast. We're gonna need a bigger calendar. If you're tired of the old cookie-cutter marketing advice and want to take your personal brand to the next level with bold, actionable strategies that truly reflect you, you're in the right place. Let's untangle your marketing mayhem with Zoe, the video confidence coach, on the Unboring Your Brand podcast. Unboring Your Brand was recorded on Wadawurrung land. I sound a lot dirtier than I meant. Army hearties, and yes, we need a bigger calendar indeed. All right, I'm going to knock off the accent for a bit, but welcome to episode 90 of the Unboring Your Brand podcast, where we are rushing into the end of 2025, and I have some plans for 2026. So it's not going to be exactly a new year, new me, but we're going to have a lot of things in the background, which means you are going to be seeing a lot more of me, whether you like it or not. We have a new CRM, a new website, new emails, new service, new playlists, and new podcast time slot, as well as continuing the podcast as it is. So there's going to be a lot to do, and we're going to cover an absolute lot in this episode. But ultimately, I have a lot of plans for 2026, and it's going to be a lot of things that we're going to cover in this episode. So, all right, let's come down into this sneak peek. Let's chill. But before I'm strapping on my big girl shoes and showing up in your ears, on your eyes, your inboxes, live streams, and your LinkedIn feeds, because that's also my plan, is I'm going to take a big deep breath. We're going to sail on this journey together. So, we are finishing up 2025. Thank you for everyone who gave me your comments, your likes, and you sent me emails regarding my last episode. I'm sorry if I was a little bit down, a little bit sad. I promise it's not a bad thing. It's just 2025 has been a year. Some of you have already been planning 26 since the end of Q3 of this year. You're already being like, Zoe, I'm already in 2026 mode. Let's be over with this. Or some of you believe that just because it's a new year doesn't mean everything drastically changes. I agree. But I'm also currently stuck in the hype of just a new year is a fresh chance. And for me, I take that opportunity to be able to make new judgment calls for myself. And I think my 16th year in business, I am finally getting to the point where I can actually take my own words to heart, my BFM, my bare effing minimum, and set myself that bare effing minimum. I'm not, hey, just future Zoe, I'm not saying that this is going to magically change the type of person I am, the person who always moves goals, who procrastinates like hell, and who drops everything to help a client. I'm not magically saying that that's going to change, but I'm going to do my best to set my own goals in a more reasonable manner. And I'm going to invite you to come join me on that as well. So if you are someone who sets way too bigger goals, and yes, you can land in the stars, but it takes a lot of energy to get there, and once you're in the stars, you're kind of stuck in space. So come back down to earth, give ourselves a chance to rest and relax over this December and January period so we can tackle 2026 together with all the energy we can muster and that we need. So speaking of 2026, I have my word of the year. So a couple of people may have seen this last year, or 2025, was strive. Didn't end up really happening for me. I strived more in setting foundations, strived more in making big changes, not necessarily in striving forward, more just setting ourselves a nice chalk block when I forgot what it's actually called, but when you're racing, or like when you're racing on foot and they have these little things that get you in the position and then you take off from there. That's what essentially I've been doing for 2025. So in those moments, come with me, think about your word of the year. There is a lot of content from a person that I enjoy following called Jen Donovan, who does a word of the year. Now, she no longer runs her podcast, but she does have a lot of podcast episodes around choosing your word of the year. And for my word of the year next year, it's going to be nice and big to my left here, is going to be courage. And that's going to be a very big thing for me. The courage to show up, the courage to pitch, and the courage to play big. I've spent this year building the foundations, and now it's time to actually do it. To get out there, to be seen, so I can help others get out there and be seen. It's time to take on Australia and the world. So, chucks away. I may have watched Chicken Run recently with the children. But ultimately, next year we've got a couple of things coming up. So for me personally, I have locked in some big girl contracts and some for some big time changes. So I've locked in Q1 for a 4-day contract with a client, which is a really big thing for me. So usually what I do, like in the past, I've done maybe like shorter stints of like 1 to 2 days max. No, this is a full quarter, like 3 weeks. So not 3 weeks, full like 3 months, 4 days a week. So it does mean that I'm going to be less available for people. So if that does affect you, my apologies. I will make sure that I communicate with you well ahead of time. Now that the contract has been signed, you will definitely see that ahead of time. And it does mean that my calendar is going to be slightly affected because obviously I won't be able to run away and do meetings or be as flexible as I usually am when I'm not on contracted time. I'll get a taste of what it's like to have a straight job. We'll see how that goes for everyone. I may be a menace in the office. So that means that it's going to mean that I'm going to have to be a bit more creative with my time and my energies. But hopefully you are going to see me on more podcasts as I guest on a few. So I haven't got a list just yet. I'm still pitching and still reaching out and building a tool to help people on the meantime to be able to pitch their own podcasts. That'll be happening at the start of next year once I've ironed out all the kinks. And speaking of ironing out the kinks, live streams will be back, baby. I have taken a impromptu 6-month break from doing weekly live streams. I mentioned that in the previous episode, so if you want to check that out, make sure you go back to episode 89 where we discuss more about that. But ultimately, I needed a break. I had a combination of COVID, of sickness, but then also just taking time to do foundations and not feeling myself. And now I'm back in it, locked in, ready to go. Whoa. So here we are. I've changed the name because I like to do that, but also Video Confidence Connect was kind of like a placeholder name until I had it ready to go, because that's what an MVP is, your minimum viable product. You can do all the things, think of a name later, and that's exactly where we are, because you know that I'm going to be there for you 10 a.m. every single Friday. Of course, these past 6 months haven't been the case, but now I actually have the foundations to actually make it happen. So you will be seeing me 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I'll do the conversions for everywhere else around the world, so you'll definitely see those on the website. You will see Camera Ready Confessions. Why? Because it's linked to the Camera Ready Club. So my email list obviously is the Camera Ready Club to get you ready for the camera, both strategy, actually getting in front of the camera, and the post-production side. The Camera Ready Confessions gives you a chance to confess not necessarily your camera sins, but any issues that you have regarding being camera ready. Confess. As someone who is not religious. It's definitely going to be the same me. Here I am. The same premise and pretty much the same breakdown. But I'm going to make sure that we're going to have fresh vibes and we're going to have a chance to have honest chats, mini how-tos, because there's a lot of tutorials you guys have been asking for, and a healthy dose of here's what not to do, because I am a very good example of that. I do that a hell of a lot of the time. I'm here, trust me. Speaking of hell of a lot of the time, we are going to continue with our Unboring Our Brand podcast, but we're going to do a slight change. So for those who are in the know, or who maybe have just joined us, so congratulations on joining us on a podcast talking about the new year and all our plans. The Unboring Your Brand podcast, we have been releasing on 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on a Sunday. This is so it is ready to download or listen to in your podcasting app or on your YouTube feed as soon as it hits Monday morning. And I have had a lot of people request different days and finding that it's not meeting their schedules. And my intention with the Sunday release schedule was so that it was there ready for you in your feed, ready to go. And it's not working as intended. So if it's not working as intended, what do? We fix that. So I'm going to be dropping episodes on a Wednesday, 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is midday on a Tuesday for me US people. And for my UK people, it is on a Tuesday evening, ready for your Wednesday morning. So you see what I'm doing there? I'm trying to fit everyone in, trying to appease everyone, and it's kind of hard to do in an Australian climate, but we're going to be making it work with all the content, fresh content, clearer ideas, well, clearer as much as I can be clear, and a whole bunch of sass, because that's what I'm here for, and I've been told multiple times now that I'm just here for the sass, Zoe. I'm like, thank you, because I'm here. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for that too. And of course, it's always going to have practical goodness for all of those who are building their personal brand with the power of video. And speaking of podcasting, I'm going to be guesting on a bunch of podcasts around the globe. So as you can imagine, recording during Q1 is going to be interesting because of those 4 locked-in days that I have per week. But I'll be in podcasting guest mode with UK, US based podcasts, because when they record, it will be like 2 or 3 a.m. here in Australia. And I can do that outside of the times that I'm rostered on with my contract work. So if you know any personal branding podcasts or any marketing podcasts that need a bit of an emotional boost or a hype up, do let me know, because that is what I am here for. And if you have any recommendations, please do put them in the comments below, because I've already got a very long list, but I'm always happy to add more. And if I pop up on other pods, I will also do like some teasers throughout the Unboring Your Brand podcast, like little mini trailers or bonuses throughout the week as they get released, to drive, obviously, listenership for each episode, but to make sure that if I think it's a good enough fit for you guys, I will bring it in too, because crews are useful when they're shared. So a little amuse-bouche, if it will. So some tiny testers for you as those come out. All right, going into my list of things here. So I've got a bunch of new tools and new tricks. So ultimately, on the website of which I am revamping, so if you have been trying to access my website over the past week or two, as I've been working on the maintenance side of things, I apologize if if any links have gone broken. I am still working on that. That is my plan over these next couple of weeks, is to get those sorted, as well as get the blogs reintegrated and back up, and have everything move smoothly. So if you run into any errors, please do let me know, and I thank you so much for informing me. Best way is via email, because that's where I check, but I'm always accessible via any platform that you happen to find me on. You will be seeing weekly articles and new tools dropping in my video toolbox on my website. So when you go to the homepage, at the top, it'll say Video Toolbox. You click on that, and you can check out all the useful tools and articles regarding various things I come across, but also tools that'll help you grow your personal brand, because that's what I'm here for. So you can think of templates, confidence skills, checklists, and not just PDFs as well. I'm trying out utilization of new tools to be able to get the most out of AI. And if you do not wish to use AI, there is plenty of other tools that are there for you to help get your head in front of the camera. Other tools that you can use are my Spotify playlists. Now, these are obviously free, accessible playlists, and I won't spend too much time on them, but we have a series of 3 podcasts. I'm on the brain. 3 playlists that I update on a daily, pretty much weekly basis, which is Confidence on Cue, which is the bold, get ready to film, get ready to, get ready for the day. The Groove and Get Stuff Done is like making tasks like 43% more tolerable as you continue going. And of course, with the signature brass, video confidence coach brass in the background. And then you've got Marketing Mood Music, which, as a fan of chill lo-fi beats with some gentle trumpets in the background, it is perfect to calm down after your filming day, or to just calm yourself down as you're trying to do stressful work in the meantime. We have also, continuing on that musical theme, No, I can't seem to bridge those topics together. Vic Podcasters is continuing to grow. We have done weekly podcasts for 2 years running, and we are going to finish up those weekly podcasts because those are useful, but they are evergreen tools. So we're taking that opportunity to step back and spend a bit more time in the groups, so the Facebook group, the LinkedIn group, and the email list, to better provide opportunities for local events, grants, collab opportunities, podcasting tips, and have that podcast there in the background. We'll continue to post on the podcast. So if you are someone who is a podcaster or wannabe podcaster, or someone who just wants the community there of like-minded podcasters, yes, Vic Podcasters is for Victorian-based podcasters. That's where most of the information will be based at. But if you are not based in Victoria, there is still a lot of useful tools for you. So you can check that out in the links below. Or you can also just continue to go on from there and check out the podcast itself. So we'll move to more of a monthly format, I think. It's probably the best bet. And we'll continue to release episodes. Instead of weekly, we'll move to monthly, where we'll break down all those things that we've done over that month. Whew. So when it comes to social media, which is honestly very low on my priority, and as some of you may have seen this year, the strategy went out the window. And I started continuing to post, and it just wasn't clicking with me as much as it could. My strategy, which I developed at the start of the year, wasn't really hitting as soon as I hit about Q2. And sometimes this happens, and sometimes I need to be able to refocus myself. So in those moments and in those times, I am pivoting my focus to be more on LinkedIn this year. Yes, I will continue to post on Instagram, where I see a lot of the crew, on Facebook and other platforms, but my focus in regards to content, in regards to purpose, will be LinkedIn, and that will be my first and foremost, and then everything else will kind of be in regards to the bottom of that when it comes to priority. So if you want to continue to hear regular updates about improving your personal brand, using video marketing, and checking out the new offers that we have, of course, you can also just follow me for my glowing personality. You can check that out on LinkedIn in the description below. And I think that's pretty much it. This year is going to be about courage for me, as I said in my word of the year. So take this time to maybe finish the podcast, take a bit of a breath, maybe give me a 5-star review in the meantime. But what do you feel is a good word that is going to describe the year that's upcoming for you? I recommend thinking of aspirational words and putting this word somewhere in your eyeline, maybe on a post-it note on your computer, somewhere, or maybe on the back of your door when you open it, somewhere where you'll see it and you'll notice it. Yes, it will become part of the background, especially if my ADHD is there, but somewhere where you can remember to see it, and then schedule in your calendar once a week to check your goals and how you're going with that. Because that's something that I did this year, is started a weekly review, which I might even do a podcast episode on, and take this opportunity to really look back and look forward and making sure that you are achieving your goals, not just as a New Year's resolution, nice to have, but an actual foundation for you and growing your personal brand. If your 2025 was dodgy, like a first pancake, you're not alone. But 2026 will be the year that we flip it like a pro, like one of those creperies on the side of a Melbourne street, and serve it with syrup and sass. Because your 2026 will be great. Because you are taking the time to make that change. And you're going to stick to it. Because you are listening to the Unboring Your Brand podcast, where we're going to unboring your brand continually and continuously. Stay subscribed for our next episode, which will be touching off our summer series and bidding adieu to 2025 in hopefully a bit more of a positive manner, because I'll have time to breathe between then. Bye. Thank you for listening or watching Unboring Your Brand. You can find detailed show notes with tools, offers, and episode transcriptions. Just click the first link in the description or go to vcc.training/podcast. Get involved and ask me anything about personal branding, video strategy, or just a friendly small business chat via my email, g'day@vcc.training. That is gday@vcc.training. The Video Confidence Coach would like to acknowledge and pay my respects to the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional custodians of the land on which I record my podcast. I pay my respects to their elders past and present. I stand with the traditional custodians of these lands in working towards a more equal future. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Look forward to me chatting at you next week, superstars.